Joining us now to talk further about this are the players themselves, Vice Captain Keenan Horne, who made a very public declaration on his disappointment, and Sam Mvimbi. A very good afternoon to the both of you. Thanks for chatting to us here on Newzroom Afrika. Keenan, I'm going to start with you. What's your thoughts on the CEO's comments?
Sure, it's tough. You know, I agree with a lot of what she's saying in terms of that hockey is a self-funded sport in South Africa. But it still begs the question of why was not more role players involved in the decision-making process. We used to this as players where we're looking for funds. So again, there was just no engagement, and that's the part that hurts the most, that we couldn't actually, take things into our own hands at this stage.
Sam, the qualifying tournament to actually get South Africa to the Pro-league was the Nations Cup. You scored in the very first game in that tournament that was held here in South Africa. Was there any discussion in the team that you guys potentially could qualify but then not go and participate in the Pro-league?
First of all, thanks for having me. So the Nations Cup tournament, we kind of knew that going into the tournament that we'd potentially go to a Pro-league, and after having some conversations with them and some heartfelt conversations with the president and the interim CEO, there was expectations that we would go. And it's to lie, well, I think I'd be lying if I said that we didn't expect to go. So I think that's where the disappointment also comes in. That's almost lack of communication is what's made us so sad and so disappointed at this moment.
Sam, how do you think this is going to affect the team going forward? How has it affected your spirit?
I mean, my motivation now at the moment is quite low, to kind of do anything to get myself to training. I say that, and I'm at training at the moment. I'm about to go to training, but it's very difficult, not just for me, but I mean for kids who wake up and see this every single day. It'll be difficult for them to choose the sport. And at the end of the day, we always go out there to play for the nations and to kind of motivate people to join the sports of hockey. And I think at the moment it will be very difficult.
Keenan, let me just understand this correctly. If everybody in the team accepts that it's a self-funded sport, did you guys fund yourselves to then be a part of the Nations Cup, which was a qualifier for the Pro-league, but were never told that you'd have to fund yourselves, or even though you qualify, you wouldn't be able to go to the Pro-league?
Yeah, we were told, I think 2 weeks before the tournament, that we would have to be paying for our own flights and accommodation and those sort of things. So we had about 5 or 6 players withdraw that are based in Europe, because, 2 weeks before the time to then book a flight, it was about over 1,000 euros for those guys to fly out to South Africa. So we used a lot of local players that were available, our greater squad. The team got into a situation where we were in Potchefstroom before the first match against Pakistan, where the accommodation wasn't paid for. We didn't know we would have to just pay 10,000 Rand just like that in a matter of like 5 days. So there was no communication of when this money had to be paid. And, that was the first time that, in a long time, that the team stood together and said, before the first game, we're not going to be paying for accommodation. If we get kicked out here in Potchefstroom, then it is what it is. But we believe that this is not a burden that we should be carrying. The association decided to accept our invitation into the Nations Cup prior to even having a discussion with us. So it's funny that they would enroll us into Nations Cup or accept participation there, knowing that there were cost implications. But when it came to Pro-league, they just made that decision without consulting us. And again, as Sam mentioned, there was a legitimate expectation and a sort of a trust that we're here to compete. And if we win this thing, everything will be done in their power to make sure that we're competing in Pro-league. So Yeah, it's been difficult. It's been an emotional roller coaster, as Sam's saying, because we know what we've come through, and we thought after Nations Cup we've actually, took massive strides forward as a group and as a team and as an association. But yeah, it just seems we took a few steps back.
The price tag that they're speaking about, the association, they're speaking about for a tournament, speaking now about the Pro-league that doesn't offer prize money to the winners. They were talking about just to enter it, South Africa would need 10 million rand. Would the team even be able to raise that kind of money? If it was left up to you, obviously.
Yeah, I think firstly, I know there was a mention of a 10 million rand, and it's now being quoted as being an entry fee. I'm not sure how accurate that is, or if 10 million rand is the total sum to compete throughout the league. And that would include potentially, because they had to show that they had 10 million rand. So that would include flights to potentially Argentina, which is only in October, November, December time, flights to potentially India, maybe Europe, and some local matches that we would be playing here. So, the funding, I don't know, or we weren't told whether it's 10 million upfront and then 10 million plus more, or just showing that you have the capabilities to compete, if that makes sense to you.
Yes.
So whether the entry was a small sum of that amount and then they had to show that they can generate other funds, we don't know. And these are the answers we're looking for, because now with the media and everything, things can be misquoted, and I don't want to say yes it is 10 million or no it's not. There hasn't been clarity. And I know we competed in the 2022 version of the Pro League, and it was a total sum of 8 million altogether over the course of 6 months that we played.
Yeah.
So again, 10 million entry fee sounds a bit excessive. But so I don't know if that's spread over the 6 to 8 months that Pro League would be played.
All right, unfortunately we've run out of time, Keenan and Sam. I do apologize, no time left, so thank you very much for your time here on Newzroom Afrika, Sam Mvimbi as well as Keenan Horne, speaking to us about news that certainly has got many sports fans talking.